Hello everyone and welcome to Doctor Who Debrief. What a brilliant name.
What a name. It only took us like 3.5 hours to come up with.
Do you remember that time I locked you in the car and said no one's leaving until we come up with a name for this Doctor Who podcast that we're doing?
And cried when Who Review was taken, as if it wasn't going to be taken.
Who Review's so good. Anyway, that's besides the point. I'm Rob Wong.
I'm Chris Pearson.
And we're here today to talk about Doctor Who. Did you say, is that my name? That is your name?
Yeah, I think I've got it.
So this week was the debut of Peter Capaldi in Series 9, Episode 1.
His like full debut.
Yeah.
His eyebrows have been on.
Yeah. And he did regenerate at the end of the Christmas.
Yeah, true.
But anyway, avoiding technicalities, this was Peter Capaldi's debut in Series 9, Episode 1, Series 9, Part
Series
1,
9.
or... They tend to do that.
9.1, yeah.
They tend to do that.
Who knows?
So Capaldi was on. Clara's back, possibly for the last time.
Possibly.
Allegedly.
There was also Strax,
Vastra,
and Jenny running
Jenny.
around.
Did Jenny and Vastra mention they're a lesbian couple?
Yeah, I think they're married.
Did they mention that?
Yeah,
that
it was quite subtle.
I know. I really like that as a subtle device that they're the same gender and they're married. I don't think they mentioned that.
Yeah, but I think if you go back, like if we go back and watch it later, you'll just pick up on the clues.
New Doctor Who drinking game. Take a shot every time they mention they're a same-sex couple. It's like, we get it. It's fine.
They are married though.
We're okay with that. You don't have to have a reptile kiss.
When I run out of breath, will you kiss me?
No.
No.
I can hold
You know
oxygen.
why? Because we're not married. Not like those two who apparently are married.
Did they mention?
Yeah.
I don't think they mentioned.
So because they were in it, that means it's set in Victorian London. There wasn't much intro, was there? They just came in. There was a dinosaur.
Wasn't much intro because we watched the first 5 minutes in my car on the iPlayer on your phone. Do we need a TV license for my car?
We have got a TV license though, so it's okay.
Is that how it works?
So it was set in Victorian London. Didn't really know why the dinosaur was there.
I forgot about the dinosaur, like apparently everyone else did in the episode. Yeah. Just like, oh, by the way, the dinosaur exploded and then burnt to flames in the Thames. Swiftly moving on, let's go to a restaurant.
I thought it was going to be like... Do you remember Primeval?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like that, and I was quite excited. But the dinosaur was very quickly disposed of, which is fine.
No one mentioned it.
Although there was like half a day when they're just in their room, like chatting, and there's a dinosaur just like in the Thames.
Oh, then it's on fire.
Yeah.
And then I really didn't like my least favorite... Let's talk about our least favorite thing about the episode. Okay, I'll start. Peter Capaldi jumping into a tree and then doing multiple flips, not being injured, and then landing perfectly on a horse.
Yeah.
The physics looked awful.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was an odd bit.
Bending time and space, fine. Bending gravity? Not sure if he has that power yet.
Especially when he doesn't know his own name, but he can perfectly do flips out of a thing.
Which one's Clara? But it's fine because I've learnt new acrobatic skills somehow. I really didn't like that, and I thought it was done really poorly, shot really poorly. Just everything about that little sequence was so bad. And you saw the face that I pulled when it happened.
You took a proper swig of water. It was like don't want to look at that. I think my least favourite bit... We should say there's probably going to be spoilers for the episode. Or like light spoilers. My least favourite bit was the way that it was all like at the end gearing up and all the bad guys had their like knives to the throats of the goodies and then just stopped and you're like, oh, for God's sake.
That moment.
It's like that Star Wars thing, isn't it? You know how like all the clone troopers, or I can't remember, just stop and you're like, okay, that's a thing. And it, like they wrote
and I thought I was the nerdy one for coming up with a Doctor Who podcast on YouTube.
They wrote it so it made sense in the context of the show, but it was still a bit like, you know.
Sorry, I'm just getting over the Doctor Who Star Wars parallel that you just drew, which is incredibly nerdy.
It happens in Avengers as well with the.
No, don't bring Avengers into it. We'll be here all night. We're on a time limit here.
What was your highlight apart from the lesbian marriage.
Were
'Cause
they?
that's
Was there
quite,
a lesbian marriage?
I
think that
that's
must have
quite
gone.
forward thinking, and what a flag to wave repeatedly.
I think that went under my radar. It was perhaps too subtle.
Maybe we're being a bit harsh on it. Maybe.
No, we're not. My favourite part was the bit where he used the sonic screwdriver to get out of any situation. Oh wait, that's every episode.
Do you have an actual favourite?
My favourite part was the surprise cameo from Matt Smith.
Okay.
I thought it was risky, unconventional. To my knowledge, not been done before. Like straight after a regeneration, having a cameo from the past appearance was difficult to pinpoint the time when Matt Smith, aka 10th Doctor, was calling from. He did say Trenzalore.
Yeah.
We were trying to pinpoint the exact moment that he was calling. Was it? He jumped into the DNA stream, the time stream first in Trenzalore, followed by Clara.
Yeah, and you
So
never
it
saw them
can't-
get.
It can't have been then. Plus, the TARDIS isn't inside. Well, everything's inside the time stream, I suppose. But they were inside the TARDIS, as it were.
I think it was after she saved him from being in there, because they were like Trenzalore was burning, but
in
there
the
were
ruins.
people there, weren't there?
But then, where was Clara? Was she
Not
just
in the
like,
TARDIS?
"Oh, okay, I'll just go away for a
Yeah.
second"? Well, they were outside the TARDIS because he was using the
was-
phone
oh, yeah.
outside.
Oh, God.
No, he wasn't. No, sorry.
Yeah, he was in the TARDIS. He was leaning against it, wasn't he? Like,
Wasn't he outside the TARDIS but inside a TARDIS?
Oh,
I don't know. I'll have to go back on iPlayer and
but that was your
pause
favourite.
it. We'll work it out. Yeah, it was a really nice surprise, and I got a little bit,
Yeah,
it got me in the feels a bit.
Got you right in
seeing-
the feels.
Like, it was just unexpected because
Yeah.
I can't, we'd written Matt Smith off. We were like, okay, that era's done. Move on. Try and accept Capaldi. And then he was just there on our screens.
Yeah.
It was just the fact that we heard his voice first, and then I was like,
Yeah, that's true. That was well
oh my
done.
god!
Actually.
It just, I don't know, it got me a bit, and it was kind of a throwback to when Billy Piper goes back to Earth for the first time, and then like, oh, do you want to get chips?
Yeah.
Do you remember? It was a little bit throwback to Piper Eccleston. You don't remember that at all, do you?
No. Trying to.
I think it's
No.
the first episode or the end of the Earth. I can't remember it. It's one of them where they go back and they get chips.
And they get chips.
It was a nice
Yeah.
reference. I don't know if it was intentional, if that's just me being extremely nerdy and remembering
Yeah.
a single
Remembering
episode
chips.
from 2005. Oh, I really like that chip reference. That's a good Eccleston
Did
throwback.
they even talk about chips?
Chips and coffee.
Oh yeah,
we literally
yeah,
watched
I'm
it a
with you.
few hours
Yeah,
ago.
okay, I'm with you.
No wonder you don't remember the Eccleston episode.
Yeah.
What was your highlight, Chris?
I wasn't that much of a fan of the bad guy, but I thought the
cyborg.
the
Human.
half cyborg thing. But I thought the analogy of you're still a broom even if you swap your handle or then your brush. And when he holds up the mirror and he's like, you don't even recognize yourself, and you can just see. I thought that was, at first I thought it was a bit obvious, but actually looking back, I quite like it, because this is the most of all the regeneration episodes. This is the most it's ever dwelled on, like him being anew. Because in the when it was David Tennant, they didn't really talk about it apart from when he chopped his arm off. And Matt Smith, they
grew a new
really
hand.
didn't talk about it. He was just like, I like fish fingers now, and I'm not ginger. And it's like, okay.
I quite liked that, but I think this is really to show that it's like a really different Doctor.
Yeah.
So it's going to take some getting used to physically and obviously in action.
Yeah.
Um,
It was good. That was my, it was nice to have a lot of reference to it though, because it is a big deal.
yeah. So overall, I didn't like the episode as an individual episode. Being in Victorian times, I didn't mind too much. Didn't like the villain, the whole idea of hold your breath, don't breathe. I thought that was just a rip-off of Don't Blink, but just redressed in a different villain. Didn't like that. I didn't like it as an episode, but as a contribution
thing,
to the whole story arc, the whole reference to regeneration, Matt Smith, Clara's relationship with the Doctor, I thought that was done really well.
Yeah, it's good. It's good setup, and it's nice to see Peter Capaldi like doing stuff, like a whole episode. And
Nice to see him at work.
and he proper got into it though. Like the scene with the homeless guy, that was really well acted. He was really like erratic and like, kind of, you could see the cogs whirring, and I really like the new intro as well with all the clocks. I love that. I thought that was so cool.
I'm British, I don't like change.
British, I hate clocks.
So overall, final questions. Did the Doctor push him out or did he jump?
I don't know. I think it's better left ambiguous.
Who is the woman at the end? Is it River Song?
Are you? I didn't realize you were actually asking me. I thought these were are these rhetorical?
No. Final questions.
No,
I think
she's no.
I think it was unwritten whether he gets pushed out or jumps.
Yeah.
I don't think that's ever written or intended to be answered. I think we'll find out who. I really want it to be River Song.
Yeah.
I really want it to be River Song.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will be.
I hope they're gonna go into more. I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
That would be the arc, won't it?
I reckon this is the new crack in the wall.
Yeah.
This paradise or this mysterious woman,
there,
whoever it is. And finally, this week's eulogy.
Eulogy. We spent so long coming up with who-based puns, and eulogy is it like a eulogy, but Doctor Who?
Off of funerals.
Yeah.
So who does our dedication of dead character go to this week, Chris?
I think it goes to the lovely female dinosaur who died a horrible death at the hands of an incinerator and then was never seen again. It's like a cremation that thousands watch, but no one goes to the scattering.
No one's mentioned. Anyone remember the dinosaur? No, I remember that restaurant closure though. Great
dear.
times. So that was this week's Doctor Who debrief.
Nice.
It was really good.
Thanks.
We'll be self-review. We'll be back next week.
Doctor Who debrief. Yeah, I'm sure we'll try to do it. I guess every week when there's an episode on, in time for like Sunday.
We need to go and watch the Doctor Who extras, and I'm probably going to watch the first episode again, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just to kind of digest it all and not watch the first 5 minutes on iPlayer in my car.
That's the way to experience it. That's the way when they came out with Doctor Who years ago, they were like, people are going to watch this in their cars.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I know.
Like, imagine it was released in 1963. Who'd have thought that someone would be watching it on their phone in the car back then? Way back when.
Crazy.
It's like we're in Doctor Who.
Do you want a biscuit?
Yeah, cheers. Next, they'll be burning dinosaurs in the Thames, and I won't mention it on this week's YouTube video. Thank you. So yeah, that was Strax. That was who not Who review. We were going to call it that.
Who
but
chat?
we
Who chat? IGGY.
Who chat? Okay, see you next week.
Oh.
Bye.